Hello folks, and welcome back to the channel. Together with these great partners, we are able to bring you quality information to help you reach your whitetail habitat goals quicker but more proficiently. Northwoods Whitetails, Plot Doctor, Harper Growing Solutions, Scent Thief, Real Wood Productions, Ace Hardware of Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Hey guys, welcome back to the farm. Welcome to the Hickory Flats stand location here on the farm. I've got a laundry list of ones that I really like. This one is rates right up there. One of the first stands that I hung on the farm. But it's one of those stands that brings us to today's topic that is tricky to hunt. So remember this year, guys, in your stand assemblage, just because it's the spot that is probably one of the better spots on your farm, right? When should you be hunting it? When is the right time to get into that stand and make it happen? Low impact, less trips in, and be able to have that patience, if you will, right, to wait until that is right. How do you go about determining those stands? So if you're a client of mine or a follower of the channel, or if I have done any plans for you, you'll know that I label my stands and I put emphasis on PM versus AM. And so there's multiple things that make an AM or a PM stand, right? One is access and contour. That's the biggest reason. You can't change contour. You have to take into consideration your access and how you're getting into those locations, not cutting that native line of travel. And when you throw contour in there, that is definitely one of those that you don't want to be cutting that. So that, with that being said, you have leeward opportunities, and you have some other options, I guess, there, or situations that may come to the plate. But for the most part, that dictates that, right? Access into your stand. What side of the line of travel are you on? Are you above or below that? So is it a PM early season sit, or is it a PM pre-rut and rut sit that you're in there hunting it in the morning, and you can stay there or move to a better stand location within the farm, and you're not accessing the entire farm again? So there's a lot of variables there, guys, but the best way to explain it the best way to look at that is, just because it's one of the better spots on the farm, it's got the most sign, doesn't mean it's one of those spots that you need to bail into October 1st, or like here in Kentucky, September 1st. This spot that we're in here, guys, right now is probably, if not the best early season spot on the entire farm. Problem with it is, I don't even think about hunting it back here until the pre-rut or the rut. So with that being said, it is a water hole. I've got a water hole right here at 25 yards. I'm off the end of a food plot, about 50 yards off the end of the food plot, and it's a great PM early season spot. Great southwest wind. I can now hunt this on a southeast wind early season. So it's a huge piece. But if I were to come in here, it's one of the furthest spots back in the farm. If I were to come in here that early, guys, I'm starting that chain of pressure that in most states, especially a high pressured state, you're not going to stop. And the reason for that is you're not the only one doing it. Everybody in your community is doing that, and that's exactly what I've got here. The reason I let this spot cook is because it's just that. It's very tough to get into, but this spot blows up during the pre-rut and the rut. So you have to weigh out your options. You have to know AM versus PM. PMs are early season, and pre-rut and rut are closer to your food sources or below the line of travel, right? Those are the things that stand out to me that represent a PM situation. AM is something a little more further in depth of the farm, or below or above the line of travel, I'm sorry, and or a spot that you can get into possibly gray light, and you're hunting that more cruising mentality. And maybe that stand, such as this one, if you're able to access this in the morning during the pre-rut and rut, this stand is an AM and a PM. So I'm going to flip you around here and kind of walk over a couple things here with you guys. So moral of that piece is just this, right? Don't overpressure a good spot trying to make it a great spot when it's not ready. If it's not primed and it's not ready, trust in what that area holds, and trust in your research what makes that property and what is that best time to hunt that location, right? Each stand location is so different. I've got 10 stands, 10 bow stands here on the farm, and then I've got three box blinds guys on the farm here. And every one of those I could go to, and I could go through a list of why that stand is better than the next one, or why that stand is that spot is good, right? They all have their highlights, they all have their low lights, if you will, right? Their downsides. So this one here is just that. It'd be a mecca early season spot. I guarantee you, every deer that I've got on the farm throughout the early season is here, and the water hole aids in that, right? But they don't use the water hole early as much early as most people think, because they're getting that moisture content, they're reaching that moisture requirement. Everything is green. You can see it behind me here, guys. Everything, morning dews, they're reaching that water intake. Your food plots are green. Everything. They don't need that water source as much. I get deer drinking out of it right now, but boy, like I said, is if you didn't have a calendar and you just had your trail camera with no date on it, and you had to win $1 million bet on when it was the end of October, when those water holes start blowing up, you would know it's that last week of October, the pre-rut across the entire country, whatever that pre-rut is in your area. Down south, maybe it's a little bit later, right? So take that into consideration, guys, when you're looking at these stand locations. This one here, like I said, this is what I'm going to explain to you. I don't come in here until later in the fall, or pre-rut and rut, and this is why. So I can take a chance coming in here early season, and if it doesn't work, I can't get in here in a PM. It's a great PM sit, but I can't get in here in a PM unless I come through the entire center of the farm. The only way to come in here is to have somebody drop you off. I could potentially do that on the stand, because I can get within 50 yards of the stand and I could have somebody drop me off. Well, most cases is I don't have that opportunity. So the next step is this: don't come into this location until the pre-rut and the rut, for this reason. Because once I'm in here in the morning, I'm accessing down the creek shelf for my property line, my north fence line, north and west fence line, coming all the way down in the creek shelf, the creek shelf, and then I've got it cleaned out now on the property line. I'm coming right in the back door, crossing the creek. Next year I'm actually putting a little bridge right here, so I'll come all the way up my fence row right by the rock wall, and then I'll come right up into here. But I'm coming in the back door, and I am able to, once I am in here in the pre-rut and the rut, guys, I'm able to hang out in this big old maple. I'm able to sit here all day. So if you're able to hunt a stand AM and PM, and then you're able to hunt that stand during the pre-rut and the rut, your chances go through the roof, right? Because you're here at a better time, and everything in the stand location is set up so it's good for me and it's good for them. So every time I'm in here, I'm in the stand, and all the habitat is built on the top side of this. So right here, you can see behind me, it's actually a little bit steeper right here, and it flattens out, hence the name of Hickory Flats. When I'm in this, it's kind of it kind of acts as a bowl maybe, but it's not, because it's open. It's not a true bowl, is where you're right down in a bowl, right at the bottom of a bowl. Horrible place to hunt, great for the deer, bad for you. But see, I've got right up here is the end of my food plot. One of the feeders is actually up here 100 yards up here, and then one of my box blinds is 200 yards up there, and it's open. It's an open mouth, and there's one there, and then there's the other opening is out towards the food plot, and then the other opening of this is out towards my access. So it kind of feels like you're in a bowl here, but the wind doesn't do that bowl effect here. And the reason I say that, guys, is all of this in here is all working for the deer when they're cruising. It's all working for them, and it's all working for me. So that's the reason I don't, I don't blow this situation out because of the profitability or the upsides that it has to offer pre-rut and rut. So I'm going to flip you around here, guys, and show you this. So like I said, welcome to Hickory Flats here, guys. So this stand location, like I said, my access is in the back door here, so that about that is north, and so I'm hunting this stand on the south, southwest, southeast, coming right down the fence row. A little bit of this access is in a creek shelf, and then I come right down the fence row, and I'm accessing right in the back door of this stand. Out in front of me here, guys, like I said, I own a couple acres on the other side of this food plot back in here, and the other end of one of my food plots is up here. The transition comes out of this is actually a big saddle right here, and it comes across licking branch, and a feeder actually sits up here about 80 yards from us, 100 yards up on the top here, and then this transition comes right down through and dumps into right here where the licking branch is. You can see the licking branch right there. There's a water hole right here. All, the vegetation's all surrounding it. Looks very natural, and you can see the hand clip trail that I have here on the transition. So this is a T in the transition food plots here. One of my legs of the transition goes out into some doe bedding that I've got cut out into here. So as I'm in this stand, the wind is coming out of here, or I'm hunting this on this type of wind. All the does that are bedded in this area over here, are on the right side of this line of travel. So when I'm here, if a buck is cruising down this draw, so if a buck is cruising down through here on that south or southwesterly, southeasterly wind, he's scent checking all of that as he's cruising down. No matter which way he's going on this transition, he's scent checking all of this, guys. So this is an intersection, though. Comes down here. The main transition runs right through here. It goes right up the bank right there, and you can see that's a piece where we made the bench, and it runs right through here. Gets here. This is a little bit steeper, not steep, but I mean it's got an incline, and then it's all this flat in this bottom right here. So I'm able to, I don't have any thermal issues in this spot. I don't have any wind issues. No bowling of the wind. Anytime that they're in here, you can see this was actually an old logging road that them are all kill cut trees, not hinge cut. I shut that old logging road off right there, and I brought all this movement down right past the stand here, 20 yards past the stand out here to the licking branch, and they turn and then they go up out of this cut trail right here now into the transition. So as you can tell, guys, since even though it's a great PM location, doesn't mean that I'm in here hunting it early season PM. So I'm watching it, I'm studying it, I'm always trying to make it better, which right now it's polished. I'll show you one thing we did to mention. So the transition does come down the hill right here, guys. Comes in through the saddle, comes in, and it used to just corner like it does now. But this year we actually made my hole in the property line here. I've got a rock wall, and I've got access and permission and everything on that 40 over there. We're in real good communication with each other, and that's actually a landowner that doesn't hunt. So I've got a hole in the rock wall right here, and it comes down across the creek shelf into here. So I've got this X of movement, this four-way crossing here that I'm hunting, guys, and it's a super spot. But you can take a super good spot, right, and make it a super bad spot and a waste of time in a hurry if you don't look at the potential for that stand location. What does that stand have to offer? When is it the best? When are your chances the highest? This stand has so much to offer pre-rut and rut. I don't risk it early season. So take this one to heart, guys. This is one of those powerful spots. Great sign, loaded with deer activity. Just not a spot that you want to hunt a lot. You want to hunt it at the right time, not a lot of the time.